So we'll have that. It's a few minutes long. The borough president will join us, and then we will start the cooking demo. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
I am Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, and I'm really joined by the true heroes and sheroes. I went to the doctor. He stated, Eric, your diabetes is at a dangerous level. We got to put you on insulin right away. I had nerve damage in my hands and feet. I lost a lot of my feeling on my right thigh from nerve damage. And during that same time, I was losing sight in my left eye, and the right eye was going out also. And so little did I know that all of those symptoms were indicators that the diabetes had reached a very dangerous level. I don't think anything is more frightening than waking up and you could no longer see the alarm clock. I started out my public service career as a member of the New York City Police Department. I think I had probably the typical police/politician diet. And you know, I love to always end the rumor right away that says cops love donuts. That is not a rumor, it's a fact. I ate all types of donuts, from jelly to cream to glaze. I always exercised, but my diet was horrendous. On the move, as an elected official, as a police officer, I did steady midnight, so it was difficult to find things that were open late at night. So whatever I can get, I would grab and just munch on. Bad food habits. What was amazing is that not one doctor that I visited said anything about nutrition and food. Forks Over Knives plan was just so helpful when I read the entire book, and I needed that plan. Cleaning out my cupboards, what to remove, looking at the list of things that you can eat, understanding the power of foods and what they do. And all of that information just made me so smart. In 3 weeks, my eyesight cleared up when I changed my diet. In 3 months, all the nerve damage was gone, the ulcer was gone, all of those symptoms that I had associated with my diabetes disappeared.
How old are you again?
57.
And you have the kidney function of a 30-year-old. Your sugars look good, they're normal. Your 3-month sugar, your A1C, has gone from 17 to 5.7. And that's now with no medication. Your inflammation is non-existent. And inflammation is a key factor also in diabetes and the risk for heart attack.
In the past, my entire meal was built around my life. Now my life is built around my meal. I chop up my kale, my carrots, my other items that I'm going to use, and I leave them in bags in the fridge. And so when it's time for me to make a meal, I just take a handful of each and put it all together. 90% of the things that I eat is because I cook. I'm in control of what I eat, and no one else is in control of that. It's so important for me to keep my energy levels up. Early today, I had a protest with private housing, that people were being left out. Then I had a meeting in public housing where some public residents was having problems. Then I have my staff meeting with my team and keep them abreast. I have a public event tonight with those who want to look at vegan/plant-based lifestyle. I have 2 dinners that I have to attend to actually entertain my Chinese guests that came from out of the country. So if my energy level is not up, I'm not able to deal with the issues that people are having and continue to build those international bridges that I look to do. We can save more lives with plant-based diet if people will only realize they are enslaved to fats, oil, sugar, and things that are killing their body.
And we're going to make sure that we allow our children to have healthy food. It's not a motto, it's a reality. We're going to raise healthy children and families in the borough of Brooklyn and in the city of New York.
When you have a chronic disease, it cripples your entire family. And if I could teach families how not to go through that and just experience life where their family members are not experiencing Alzheimer's, where grandparents can't identify their grandkids, and families are going through chemotherapy, and mothers are dealing with asthma. If I can do that, if I can change that, that is the end of the chapter. And I mean, I had a great life.
So a slight change of show. The borough president will be joining us hopefully later. He had a slight emergency outside the building. So we will start with our cooking demonstration from Heidi's Healthy Kitchen. They will take it away as soon as they're mic'd up. So in the meantime, I would love each of you to introduce yourselves to the person next to you and talk about why you're here tonight.
Okay, so my name is Ivan Raj, and I am the other half of Heidi's Health Kitchen, and Heidi is my partner.
I'm Heidi, the other half.
And good to see you all. I like your smiling faces. You all look really relaxed. Good. And I see some friends here. I met them at the Borough Hall a couple of months ago. Nice. So first of all, we would like to thank the Borough President's Office for having us here, and also for we want to thank Rachel as well for arranging this cooking demonstration. And I actually thought we may not have many people because it's January 3rd, but I'm so excited to see you all. Although it's the beginning of the year, you're still interested, and you're not like, okay, I just completed all my holidays and I want to take rest. But instead you guys came out. So once again, thank you for coming out. And we're going to look at 3 recipes. By any chance, you have recipe sheets? Okay, yeah. All right, so you guys will be getting the recipe sheets. And we also have one more person that we'd like to introduce you to, Dr. David Ephraim. And Dr. David Ephraim, he's a naturopathic doctor. And he's also part of our team. We actually offer cooking demonstrations on a very regular basis for the community. We've been doing this for the last 4.5 years. And we also have several products also that we sell on our website, which is heidishealthkitchen.com. Everything we make is plant-based and gluten-free. You like our products, right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, and so we're going to look at 3 recipes today. One is the peanut butter cookie. It's raw, plant-based, and gluten-free. Very easy to make. In fact, all the 3 recipes that we're going to be presenting tonight, it's very simple. We picked up the simple recipes so that you guys can replicate it back at home and teach others as well. And so peanut butter cookie recipe is one, and then we have roasted potatoes, rosemary roasted potatoes. That's the other recipe. And then the third recipe will be the creamy green bisque. Creamy green bisque. And then we also will be having a natural remedy. We're going to do a live demonstration. Live demonstration of a natural remedy. And in between each of these recipes that we're going to be presenting to you guys, we will have Dr. David present health nuggets. And are we ready for the first recipe yet?
Yes, we're going to be doing the raw peanut butter cookie.
See,
Who likes dessert first?
I did most of the talking, Heidi.
Okay, we just have to we need power on this side.
We also want to take this moment to take an opportunity to thank our volunteers.
Thank you so much. Okay.
So, ready?
Okay, yes. So we're going to start our raw peanut butter cookie. It's very, very easy. If anyone is allergic to peanuts, please let us know. And as they're serving the sample to you, just let them know, please. Okay, so the first thing that we need is dates, and we're going to be pitting some dates. You want to use medjool dates. They're a lot stickier, and that helps. So let's see, I'll start that. And Ivan, if you want to start putting the rest of the things into the food processor, you're going to need a food processor for this, at the very least.
So what if people don't
grinder.
have a food processor? What do we suggest?
Well, you could use a coffee grinder and grind up the nuts that way. It
So
would be
the first ingredient
more
will be the almond,
tiresome, but it could be
which will
done.
a cup and a All right, quarter.
so
So the first ingredient will be the almond, which will be a cup and a quarter. Right. And then we have to first process it. Right. So that. And then we have to first process it so that the dates can easily bind to it. Pulse it a little bit. Alright, now can you see the consistency? Alright, now can you see the consistency? If you're in the front, alright, the camera.
Okay, so you guys probably have heard that
All right.
almonds are the king of the nuts. Okay, so you guys probably have heard that almonds are the king of the nuts, and almonds are heart healthy, and they've got tons of benefits. So this is a very, very healthy recipe. We're going to start putting in these dates as well. Dates are another very, very rich in mineral food item that we all need to have.
I was so excited when I got to know that we can sweeten stuff without having white sugar, or processed sugar, and we can replace that with dates. Okay, great. All right, so we have 20 dates in this, right? Almost 20?
One more.
One more? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to process it a little bit more. Or pulse it. And we'll also be adding the vanilla syrup. And we'll also be adding the vanilla syrup. We're supposed to add 5 teaspoons. And let's see. 1, 2, 3. That's fine. And then we're going to add peanut butter. Five tablespoons. I don't have to see the recipe because I've made it a million times. 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons. 4. 5. And then we're going to add tahini. Add some extra protein. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. It's sesame seeds. Yeah, rounded.
I don't know if they do or not. You can ask someone that works here. I'm sorry?
The tahini? Yes.
Yes, but it's a dessert. It's a lot
It's a
lower
dessert.
in calories than many other desserts you'll find.
Yep. Paper towel. All right, so we're going to now pulse this mixture. All the ingredients will be pulsed now. Need you want a spatula?
Nope, I don't know where those things are. So at Heidi's Health Kitchen, we really love desserts. If you go to our website, we have a whole dessert menu as well as a full catering menu. You can check all of that out. We also make a line of carob truffles. They're called karubis, and we make those in 8 different flavors, and they're absolutely delicious, and they're a great gift.
More.
Okay, so this is just about process, and what we're going to do now is we're going to either roll them into balls or flatten them into cookies. And we have some that have already been prepared. And so if we have some serving staff, we could start giving you the raw peanut butter cookie ball.
He has a question?
You could use cashew. Cashew works very, very well. What nuts are you not allergic to? You can use pistachios. You could. Sunflower would probably work better. Okay.
You can also use sunflower seeds. Okay, so
this is a little bit of a sticky mixture as you can probably imagine, and you want to just press it together and then roll it into balls, flatten it into cookies, however you would like to eat that.
all right, so we'll be serving the raw peanut butter balls to you guys now. And Dr. David is going to give us a health nugget in the meanwhile, as you guys enjoy the dessert.
David? Yeah. Oh.
I like to smile, so please forgive me. Good evening. My name is David. That's what my mother called me. David. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the food. Everybody's ready to write. I'm watching. Why are you here? Let me ask that question first.
I'm looking to start my own food business, so anything I can learn.
Okay.
To change my eating habits.
Change your eating habits.
It is time to eat the right way.
Eat the right. Why do you want to eat the right way?
So I can be healthy and feeling good.
Okay. I heard something over here.
I wrote a book.
You wrote a book.
I wrote a book about, I'm a wellness witness.
Okay, she wrote a book, that's why she's here. One more, I'll take one more. Then I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff they made. Where did I see her hand?
I want to live longer.
She wants to live longer. Let your food be your medicine. You ever heard that before? Who said that? Hippocrates. Now they just cooked with some live food. Live food. I want to tell you why live food is important. Now, most times when you go to the grocery store and you get something from the shelf or from a can, it's not really alive anymore. It's processed, it's dead. But what is dead food? Overcooked? processed, no nutrients, frozen, lots of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of fat, junk food. Dead food is usually food that does not have enzymes. Let me tell you why that is important. Okay? I'm looking at you. Now, here, let me explain this. When you eat food, let me back up a little bit. Everybody has a table in front of them, those who have a table, those who have a seat. Right? You have a seat, you have a table. The table has several parts to it, right? It has the base, it has the table board, it has wheels. Your chair has legs and all the pieces. But what makes it a table and what makes it a seat? Somebody said it. When you put it all together. You see, if I bring all the pieces to you and I put it there and it says sit down, you don't have a seat and you don't have a table. What the enzymes do is allow your body to use all the different nutrients so that your body can benefit from it. You are not what you eat. You are what you digest. The enzymes are what is going to digest your food. And so if you don't digest your food, you know what happened? You die? No, you might get a big gut. That's what might happen. You eat a lot. You'll be malnutritious. Am I saying that word right? Malnourished? Oh, thank you very much. See, I got a lot of help here. You'll be what? That's why you need live food. Now, the American diet is filled with stuff that we call food, but it is what? It is dead food. So you eat, you gain weight, you gain weight, you gain weight, and you know what? You're still hungry at the end of the day. Because there is no real nutrient your body is taking in because the enzymes have been removed. Why would you want to remove the enzymes? Shelf life. Shelf life. Now, let's explain that. Who's ever had a banana before? I just want to make sure. I know it sounds odd, but some of us don't get around to fruits much. So you had a banana, right? You're getting ready to eat your banana, and the phone rings. You put the banana down, and you're going to talk to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Then you come back and you look at the banana. What color is it? Brown. What? Oxidation? Yes. What about digestion? The food began to digest by itself. That's what happens when you drop the apple and you go to the grocery store and say, this one is soft. Oh, I don't want that one. Digestion has occurred. Why? When you dropped it, you released the enzymes and began to digest the food. You see, if you have dead food and you eat dead food, guess where the enzymes come from? From us. You begin to rob yourself of your enzymes to break down your food. Now here goes why that's dangerous. You know, you get to be like 50 plus years old like I am. Except you said, my back hurts today. That happens, right? Oh, why did I feel that? You ever get that? That's because probably when you were 18 and 19, you were eating dead food. And your body was robbing itself so that it could digest the food you were putting in, or the material you were putting in, since it was void of enzymes. So there's a whole process. Now, someone said it clearly. The reason they remove enzymes is because they don't want the food to spoil so fast. No, it has to last. So they remove the enzymes and put it on the shelf and says, oh, go eat that. And you eat it. But down the road, as you age, you begin to notice premature aging. You begin to feel, I don't feel well today. Because no one told you that you needed to eat live food from the beginning. Like our ancestors. So we had dates. It was alive. The enzymes were alive. Peanut butter. It was peanut butter cookie, right?
Yeah.
Do you know peanut butter is better than meat? Protein, amino acids, just about everything. But here's the thing, no cholesterol. You know what cholesterol is, right? It's the thing that when you're walking down the street, you go, you know. That's what it is, isn't it? Let's not pretend. That's what it is. It is the thing that catches you while you on a Monday. That's when most people have heart problems on Monday morning. The idea of going back to work, the cholesterol kicks in. It is what sticks on the artery walls. Then all of a sudden you say, why is it so difficult to breathe? Why is my pressure going up? The cholesterol. I mean, that's the nice way of putting it. The doctor will give you some pills and create another problem. Now you have to get over the pills. But how do you avoid that? Changing what you eat. Food is powerful. Food is medicine. So I will share my daughter. My daughter almost gave me a heart attack. Good thing I ate well. She used to do missionary work. They went to Uganda. When they went, they took peanut butter to eat. But then she was held captive for a couple of months. You know what they ate? Peanut butter. No jelly. They weren't nice to them. I say that because you can survive on it. It's live food. But I'm not talking about Jiffy or what else they have, Peter Pan one or whatever they sell in the store. Skippy, that doesn't make you skip. That will stop your heart from beating. When you go to the store and you pick them up, you're going to see sodium, salt, all ways of hiding the salt. And the sugars and the oils, that stuff will kill you. So when you're going to eat peanut butter, do you know what kind of peanut butter you got to eat? Live food. You want to make sure that it was live. And you guys are ready?
Thank you, David. We hope you guys will join us at some of our other cooking demonstrations. We offer a cooking demo on the second Sunday of every month in Manhattan, in Midtown. The address, if you want to write it down, is 410 West 45th Street. It's between 9th and 10th Avenue. It's at a church called Crossroads. It's the second Sunday of every month at 410 West 45th Street. It's from 10 a.m. to noon. And we hope you'll join us there. Okay, so next on the menu is our roasted potatoes. And these are rosemary roasted potatoes. So we're using fresh rosemary. Fresh is always best. I'm sure you would agree. And if you didn't have fresh, you could use the dried herb as well. So we're just going to chop some up. And then we're going to be using some other ingredients you see on the table. We're going to be talking about oil. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so as you can see, this oil is in a dark bottle. And there are three elements that damage the oils or the benefits and the enzymes in our oils. Now, you might be on a no-oil diet, and that's perfectly fine, but if you're not, and if you cook with oil, you absolutely want to get the best. Does anyone know what those three things are that would damage the good ingredients in your olive oil? Yes.
Yeah. Sunlight.
Light, yes. What's the second one? Oxygen and heat. So for that reason, we never, ever, ever want to store our olive oil in that cabinet that's right above your stove. The heat will damage the elements. You always want to keep it in a cool, dark place. And you want to get it in a dark bottle so that the light doesn't damage the elements. And you never want to keep your oil in an open flask because the oxygen will do the same. Make sense?
So how many of you had the dessert, the peanut butter ball. Very good. Thank you. Who's that? I guess so. Let me check. During the
Okay,
next
so
break,
you
I'll
just
check.
want to rough chop your herb, your rosemary. Now, oftentimes we think of herbs as garnish, right? When you go out to eat, how many of you actually eat the herb that's the garnish on your plate? Good. I would like to see all of those hands. I don't know how many, let me ask you this. How many of you either own a Bible or maybe have read parts of the Bible? So there's a saying or a verse in the Bible that says that God gave herbs for the service of man. I don't know about you, but I need a little servicing, right? We all need extra sleep. We need some rest. We need detoxing. We need cleansing. Our good friends from Eden Lifestyle are here. They have a great cleansing program, and we need those things. Well, guess what? God created herbs to do that as well. So you might already know that parsley is excellent for detoxing your body of heavy metals. So is cilantro. Every herb has its benefits. So we want to encourage you to use herbs in your cooking as well as to eat them when they're on the side of your plate. Okay, and in this we're going to be adding salt, and we want to talk about salt. Who knows what color salt should be in its natural form? Not white. All right, so what are the two colors that it comes in? Pink or gray? Yes, gray Celtic sea salt or pink salt. So today we're using a pink salt. And so do you guys know what would have happened to it if it's white? It's bleached or chemically processed. So even if you go into Whole Foods or a high-end health food store, and you see this nice, beautiful bottle of white gourmet sea salt. It could be very expensive. It could look wonderful. But if it's white, it's been chemically processed. The company that makes the gray sea salt is called the Celtic Sea Salt Company. And the Celtic Sea Salt Company has done a study, a private study. And in that study, they asked people to use their salt only for 90 days. Now, that meant that they couldn't eat out because we don't know what kind of salt they're using when we're eating out, right? But at home, we can control some of these things. And so they agreed to do this. And the people they chose for this study were people that had a certain condition. What's the condition that your doctors will tell you have to have a no salt or a low salt diet? Hypertension. That's right. So these people had hypertension. Several of them were on blood pressure medication. And they chose to use only the Celtic Sea Salt Company's salt for 90 days. And guess what happened? Many of them were able to consume salt without their blood pressure medication. Many of them reduced their blood pressure medication. Some of them came off of it. But when they used that salt, it did not raise their blood pressure. The reason why is because God created our bodies to be able to assimilate natural things, and it is the chemical process or the bleaching process that causes a reaction. When we put something foreign into our body, it's going to cause a reaction. And the reaction is the constriction of the blood vessels, which is the high blood pressure. Okay, so we have added, I think, all of our ingredients here except for garlic powder disappeared. Okay, we need garlic powder. That's going to give us some nice flavor. You can. Yep, it is going to bake, so you certainly can. Okay, so we're going to just stir all of this together, and we're going to put our chopped potatoes in. And we're using gold potatoes. We recommend that you use organic wherever possible. And Ivan, since you have a glove on, do you want to toss this for me? Great. Okay, and then we're going to put that on a parchment-lined cookie sheet. Any grocery store will have parchment paper. And that's our roasted rosemary potatoes. So you would bake those at 350 for about 40 minutes. And we have a sample of those as well. They're being portioned out, and as soon as they're ready, they'll be served to you. We did. If you buy organic and you wash them well, I would leave the skin on. Yes.
So is Dr. David here? Okay.
Okay, so in the meantime, I'd like to invite our friends from Eden Lifestyle up. I see them in the back. Would you guys like to come and say hi? You're next. Okay. Hi, good. How are you? We have a microphone, actually. So maybe you can just introduce yourself and tell them where you guys are located, and they can, of course, come and see you at your table as well.
Sure. She caught us by surprise, I must say. But you look lovely today. And so we basically are upstate New York, about 2 hours from Brooklyn, from Manhattan, and from like Queens area. But we actually focus on lifestyle changes as well. So we operate like a health and lifestyle retreat upstate New York, where people come to be able to learn how to reverse top killers by simple lifestyle changes and simple lifestyle choices. And I'm telling you, the testimonies that come out of this place is just tremendous by how people are able to do like reverse diabetes and so forth by a simple diet and a simple plan. And we see it happen time and time again. And so with that as well, we also just opened up a plant-based health food store and also a vegan, plant-based cafe as well within the health food store, because we really want to be able to provide like practical, helpful tools for people in the communities as well. But all that is so far away from you, right? It's like 2 hours away from there. But it's a great retreat for those who really want to be able to learn practically how to change your lifestyles and how to reverse and how to modify and change your habits as well. So with that health food store too, we are really focused on really educating and teaching the community on plant-based eating, on how to make healthy choices through exercise programs, and also how to be able to get the amount of rest that you need and so forth. And I'm telling you, just about maybe early December, we had a gentleman that came from Massachusetts. He came all the way from Massachusetts, drove about 4 hours to the center upstate New York. Now this man, he came with his glucose levels of about 276. Glucose levels 276. Now he also came with high blood pressure as well. Now he's pretty high, right? And he's also on medication. You know sometimes men, they, I don't want to take this stuff. I want to get off this stuff. Well, change your life. but anyways, so he was able to, by going on the program, he came for 7 days. He came for how many days? 7 days. Now guess what took place in 7 days? As they began to implement the simple changes by exercising, also we put him on a complete detox program as well, focusing on complete detoxification of the body through blood detox, liver detox, colon detox, and really giving his system a real jump start. Now, as a result, about 7 days being on the program, in about 2 days, his glucose levels began to drop dramatically, about 30 points. After the days continue, it dropped even more. It dropped even probably like over 80 points. And then in 7 days, he was able to bring his glucose all the way down to about 89. 89. From 276 to 89 in 7 days. And it's not rocket science. It's not some strange stuff that we're doing. We're just showing him how to do simple things he can do right at his home.
Wonderful.
And this man, he went to his doctor the next day. And his doctor said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, the guy's up there in New York. Check it out." And he said, "What are you doing?" And so he was able to really be able to lower his, he left with glucose levels dropped and also blood pressure drops. So thank you so much as well for listening.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Good
for the
to see
opportunity.
you guys. Thank you for coming. So we hope that afterwards you'll stop by their table and visit them. And David, thank you.
You're more than welcome. Okay, I have to reintroduce myself. My mother called me David. The doctor stuff, everybody likes to do that. I don't know why. My name is David Ephraim, or Ephraim. Okay, that's Ephraim. So I blend in. Anyway, was that good? Okay, thank you very much. I just have to check in. Now, that center, Eden Life, it's a great place. 2 hours is not far, not if you're concerned about your health. I'm not going to take long, but I want to say this. Hello. I like kids. I can't help it. It's a bad habit. Now, here goes what I want to say. Junk in, junk out. Okay? Junk in, junk out.
Good for the lips, bad for the hips.
Okay, good for the lips, bad for the hips. Now, let me tell you why I say that. Sometimes we like to put stuff into our system, but we don't stop long enough to discover whether or not it's good or bad. It just looks good. And then we start to have symptoms and problems down the road, but we never connected to what looks good because we have been fooled. That because it's pleasing to the eye, it's good for the body. Have you discovered that? Is it Junior's not far from here? Oh, that looks good when you walk by that store, right? But what happens if you eat too much of that? Huh? What happens? You get sick? You actually begin to create problems for yourself. All the fat, all the eggs, all the salt, all the sugars, that's junk in. And it does damage. Now, why do we need to know what we eat? I want to live for. All right. We won't do that, but we do want to live better. We want to be able to reach 50, 60, and still be able to walk around. Guess what I did on my 50th birthday? Party. Almost. I got on a bicycle at 59th Street and Columbus Circle, and I rode all the way across to the Pacific coast. That's what I did for 50 years old. Why? Because I was able to. You see, if you put junk into your system, it's going to begin to destroy it, and you won't know why. Here's how it does it. We talked about enzyme before, and in order for your body to break down food, it needs to rob the body to break down the food. But let me just go to one item because of time. Anyone here drinks milk? Regular milk? Almond milk? Everybody has almond milk? Okay. What about cow's milk? Okay. So I won't touch that because most of us are drinking the right kind of milk. Because why did you switch from cow milk? Couldn't digest it? Couldn't tolerate it? I'm not a baby cow? Okay, I'm not going to go there. I want to go to potatoes for a moment. Potatoes are the dream for the stomach. Do you know potatoes have Valium in it? You never knew that, huh? Is that drug when you get sleepy? Surgery? When you get stressed, a tight back, they give you this little pill that makes you loopy? Do you know you actually have that in potatoes? Besides potatoes having really a complete protein. Now, we don't think about that because the quantities are so small. But in reality, it is a biological, almost perfect protein in a potato. But here goes the thing. You need to peel the skin. Unless you grew it yourself or you knew it was organic. Because you know what's on the skin? Pesticides, chemicals. So you go and get a nice potato, right?
And you want the skin because you're told all the vitamins are in the skin, and you eat it up. And 20 years down the road, you are told you have breast cancer or prostate cancer. And you're trying to figure out, didn't I put good stuff in the skin? The chemicals are on the skin. So unless it is organic, take the skin off. I know the vitamins are there, but the trade-off is not worth it. It's better to not get ill than try to recover from illness. Okay? So when you have foods, especially that have skin that you can eat, you must know where that food comes from. This last summer, we grew potatoes and potatoes and yams. And we could eat the whole thing because I knew exactly what I put in the ground. But most of us don't do that. We trust the same person who took the enzyme out of our food. See, I really want you to think more than anything else when you go to the store. So potatoes are good for you. Now, I had a bunch of slides here, but I realized I left my slides when I was in Delaware, so I wasn't going back to get them. But here goes what I want you to know about potatoes. They are a good protein source, but please remove the skin unless they're organic. And lastly, they don't have a lot of calcium in it. Inflammatory white potato. Now the question is, do white potatoes give you inflammation? You know what gives you the inflammation? The stuff you put on the white potato. The sour cream, right? The butter. Oh, yeah. But by itself, the potato is good for you. It's what you put on it that makes it dangerous. Okay, so when you have your potato, the best way, bake it or steam it, but not too long, because you're going to get rid of all the vitamins and nutrients in that potato. So you want the potato by itself to settle your stomach, to calm your stomach, to give you the protein that you need. It is great to mix protein with grains, okay, because it enhances the protein from the grain. So I just wanted to talk about potato, and we are ready for the next one. All right.
Sure. Okay. So how are your potatoes? Good. Wonderful. Too spicy? Okay. Well, I thought that might have been the case. So our next recipe, I actually didn't put in the cayenne pepper. So our next recipe is going to be our creamy greens bisque. This is one of my favorite soups. It's got all of what you need. And if you slice an avocado on the side, you'll really have all you need for your meal. This green soup is, you can look at the ingredients list on your recipe sheet. It's filled with tons of greens and tons of benefits. But one of the things that we do to make it even more beneficial is, instead of using the vegetable broth, we're using an herbal tea. How many of you have heard of the herb stinging nettle? Okay. So when the herb is growing wild, it has very, very minuscule like thistles on it, and it will sting. So you have to be very, very careful when you're harvesting it or picking it wild. And the way that you neutralize the sting is by soaking. And so I have made some nettle tea here. And so we took the dry herb, and we measured out, for each quart, you want to use a tablespoon of the dry herb. I boiled water. When the water was boiling, I turned the water off, and I added the herb to let it steep. Now, nettle is exceptional for the liver. Nettle is often used in a liver cleanse, and it's excellent for purging your body. It's also excellent for headaches, and it contains magnesium. So it helps to calm and to relax as well. So we're using Nettle Tea as our base. And to that, we're going to be adding in some yellow lentils. And so yellow lentils are very, very high in magnesium as well. And we've already rinsed these. You want to rinse them a few times to get some of the starch off of them. And so we are going to put in our lentils. They've been rinsed already. And then to this, we have added potato. And we're also going to be adding our celery and onion. And we will cook this until the potato is tender. And then after that, takes a little time to cook, so I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing in front of you. But after that, we would be adding zucchini, green squash, green zucchini. And we would also be adding, for one recipe count, you're going to use an entire box of spinach as well. So it's very, very high in minerals, as you can see. We would also be adding broccoli to this. And then you can season or flavor it with basil, cayenne if you wish, and just some salt. We're also going to add the bay leaves. They're going to give some additional flavor while this is cooking. So at this point, we are just going to stir this together, get it all covered in the water, and this is going to cook. So you just want to cover it and let that cook. Now it needs to simmer for about an hour. So, and then after that hour, then you would add in your zucchini and your spinach and your broccoli and then your herbs.
Quick tip. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have samples of that as well, so they can start portioning out the soup and get that out to you.
So if you guys have any issues with ants at home, especially in the kitchen area, you can put the bay leaves out and it'll keep the ants away. Welcome.
Yeah, great place to keep them also is between the cupboard and the ceiling. Just stick a couple of bay leaves up there in the corners and the borders of your kitchen, and it helps to keep most pests away, including ants. Yes?
Yeah, just 2 or 3.
I'm sorry?
Not one of them. Yes, I am.
We used garlic in the roasted potatoes. Yeah.
You guys had the roasted potatoes?
Yes, they did.
Like it? You want to replicate it at home? Nice.
Okay. So once that soup is portioned out, they'll be getting that out to you as well. One of the other things that we generally do at each one of our cooking classes, I'll need the base, is we offer demonstrations of natural remedies. And so today we are also going to demonstrate a natural remedy, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's our ginger turmeric poultice, and it's used for pain. How many of you are experiencing any type of pain or inflammation, or you know someone who is? We probably all know someone who is. This particular poultice I initially used for a condition called frozen shoulder. Anyone ever heard of that? I had never heard of that until it happened to me. One day I woke up in so much pain. I couldn't move my arm any direction to the front or the side or the back, and I just thought I slept wrong. So I started stretching and exercising like crazy, got on my inversion table, started really stretching, and it was like 10 times worse. And by the end of that day, I was in so much excruciating pain. I was literally crying. All of my muscles in my shoulder felt like they were just twisted up and tight. And I didn't know what to do. So my good friend, my partner Ivan, his brother Martin was a medical missionary in Kenya some years ago, and he gave us this remedy. And so what you do is you grind or you pulse or you chop fresh ginger. We need fresh ginger root for this, and you want to peel it as well because we want the juice to not be absorbed by the skin. And with that, we're going to mix turmeric powder. So the turmeric and the ginger are both anti-inflammatory. And so we made this poultice, applied it to my shoulder, and by God's miracle, after the first 6-hour treatment, because it is a treatment, you should be leaving it on for 6 hours and repeat it for 5 days a week. After the first 6 hours, 100% of the pain was gone. And each day applying that poultice, I had more and more range of motion until at the end of the 5 days, I had full range of motion. After this, I was speaking to the nutritionist at my local health food store, and she could not believe that we had a remedy for frozen shoulder. She has patients herself who've been in physical therapy for 2 years, and they still have pain and inflammation. The medicines, the prescriptions don't work, but natural things do. And this remedy has been absolutely wonderful. And so we're going to demonstrate that for you. And do we have the ACE bandage? Okay, all right. So let me tell you another story about this. We demonstrated this at one of our cooking classes, and there was a young girl in the audience. We often ask for a volunteer if there's anyone in pain. And so a young girl from North India raised her hand. She was very athletic, or had been over the years, and she had a knee injury. And she had the cortisone shot in her knee 3 times. Wasn't even relieving the pain anymore. And so I asked for a volunteer, and she raised her hand. So we applied this poultice to her knee. We wrapped it, and we bandaged it up for her. And she went on her merry way. She left it on that one day for 8 hours. And sometime later, we heard from her. She messaged us on Facebook thanking us for the miraculous healing that she experienced. In just 8 hours of using this poultice, all of her pain was gone. And she then began sharing this remedy with an uncle that had tennis elbow and another relative that had sprained their wrist. And it can be used for so many things. So as I prepare this, I will ask if there's anyone that has an extremity that is in pain that we could apply this to. I have enough for 2 people. I see someone in the middle, and I see a lady back there in yellow. I think you guys raised your hands first. So when this is ready, I will call you up, and we will show you guys how to demonstrate this. We believe that each one of us should be educated in ways that we can reduce pain and inflammation. You know, I certainly believe in emergency care, especially if something is broken. But I'll do everything natural for every possible thing I can before I pay to go to a doctor who's going to give me a prescription that I don't want to take. And that's just me. But we have many, many natural remedies. We teach them at our cooking classes. So again, we hope you join us on the second Sunday of every month at Crossroads on West 45th Street between 9th and 10th Avenue between 10 a.m. and noon. We will not be having a class in January because this is our January cooking demo, but we hope to see you in the month of February. Okay, so what's that? The classes are free, open to the community. Join us. Okay, so we just want to get this ginger broken up enough that we can get the juice out of it. You might be tempted to just add water to this, but you don't want to do that because we don't want it to be runny. There's enough liquid in the ginger if you just blend it. Okay. All right, so, yes. Okay, so all my rubber spatulas are upstairs. I wouldn't recommend you stick your hand into a blender with a blade, but just be careful. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this into a bowl. I have learned not to put the turmeric in my Vitamix container. Bright yellow.
So how is the bisque? Good. Thank you. Which one?
Yes.
Yes. In the Vitamix. With the spatula.
Okay, so this ginger, because of the natural juice in the ginger, is very wet, which is exactly what we need. And so the way that you measure this poultice is for every inch in length of the ginger root, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of ginger powder. For every inch of the ginger root in length, I don't count the width, I only count the length. For every inch in length, you'll add a tablespoon of turmeric powder.
I'll mix it.
Yeah. Sure, you want to do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you want to mix this together. Should be mixed well. And we recommend using gloves for this. As you may know, turmeric stains. It's not going to damage your skin, but it'll stain your clothing. So when I do this, I wear gloves and I wear black. And if you want to leave this on overnight, then I would recommend that you wear black and you also put a dark towel over your bedding so that you don't damage your sheets or your bedding. Okay, so my 2 volunteers, I need to come up. The 2 volunteers that volunteered.
Is that a chair? For them to
Okay. What's your name? Dawn. Okay, so Dawn, I need a chair for you to sit in, so I'm going to grab this one over here. We might need that chair too. And Dawn, I'm going to have you sit right over here so that everyone can see what we're doing.
Sure, if you can get a plate. Yeah.
And I need one of these chairs as well.
Plate?
Whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, sure. Yes, we'll give you the rest of it. Okay. So Dawn, tell me where your pain is. Okay. That's going to be a little bit hard for us to wrap right now decently. So I'll give you a little massage. But anyone have an extremity like a hand or a wrist or an elbow? That'll be very difficult to wrap decently as well, honey. Sorry. Okay, yes, come up. Okay. So I would recommend that you do this at home and have a family member apply this for you. You know, when I did my shoulder, I wore a tank top, right? So it was decent, and then that area could be covered. And so that's what I would recommend for you. Thank you, though. Okay, and what's your name? Loretta. Okay, have a seat, Loretta. And Loretta, where is your pain? Okay. Did you have an injury? Oh, I see it's swollen. Tendinitis. Okay, no problem. Okay. All right, so for this remedy, you need saran wrap and you need an ace bandage. And paper towels are helpful as well. So if there are any paper towels down here, we could use one. Okay, can I have you sit here, Loretta, right? Okay, I'll have you sit there. So we're going to demonstrate how you apply this poultice. Not yet. So a couple of things I'm going to do just to prepare in advance. I'm going to unpackage the ACE bandage. We want to have all of our supplies readily available for us. Okay, and I mentioned we're using saran wrap. And so, you know, Loretta has a beautiful scarf on and such beautiful clothing here. We don't want to damage any of this. So I'm going to cover her lap with saran wrap as well. If something should fall, we want to protect the area. Hard to see. Well, I don't know how much I can do about that, but you could certainly stand if you'd like. Sure, could you turn it? That'd be wonderful. Thank you. Okay, it's a brand new saran wrap, so we just got to find the... Sure. I'm going to need this anyway, though. No. Okay. I'll apply it. Okay. Do you want to? Oh, there you go. It's just almost impossible with gloves on. Okay. All right. So we want to have all these supplies ready for us. Okay. So we're going to lay that there. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So Loretta, I'm going to have you rest your hand. Okay. So this poultice, you guys, this is fairly moist. If I were to squeeze, I could squeeze out the ginger juice, but we don't want to do that. So we want to apply this moist as it is and press it into place. We want to cover the area as much as possible. So now remember, if you're covering a large area, a knee or an ankle, you might need more. I did 3 inches of ginger. And you might need more. Okay, I just need the roll. Yeah, no, I need the roll. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Okay, and so now we're going to roll.
So, Loretta, it might burn a little bit.
This poultice...
Because of the ginger, but it won't affect your skin in any way.
Yes,
so.
I need you to keep your fingers wide open because I don't want it to be too tight. Okay, so this poultice should be a warm poultice, and maybe we'll poke your finger right through there, okay? When I had this on my shoulder, it felt like my arm was in a furnace, and that is the healing that is needed. That heat was breaking down all of the inflammation, and inflammation causes pain. Okay, so Loretta, is this too tight? Okay, so you want this to be snug. We don't want it to leak out, right? But you don't want to cut off the person's circulation, right? So we want to be as careful as we can not to do that. I don't know what's going on with this saran wrap. Okay. Is it too tight up here? We could move it down a little bit if it is. Okay. So I'm going to cut this off. And we had napkins? Or this is the napkin? This is it. Okay. Well, this is a tablecloth. Do we have any paper towel? No. Okay. So now what I might do is stick some paper towel in the front and in the back, because if this were to get pressed on, we don't want the liquid to come out and stain your clothing or anything like that. And, oh, wonderful, thank you. Just a couple of napkins will do. And so we'll just fold this, and we're going to stick the napkin in around the hand and then cover it with a saran wrap. Because that way, if anything leaks, it'll get absorbed by the napkin. All right? And I'm going to put another small piece in the front. Let's see if we can stick something under here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, maybe it'll stay. Okay, so now that I've got the napkin in there, I'm going to roll just over that to hold that in place to secure this a little bit more. And we're going to puncture your finger. There you go. Okay, so we're going around her thumb so that this can be as snug as possible. Oh, I think so. I think so. Okay, now on top of this, this is not enough. On top of this, to secure this, we are going to secure it with an ACE bandage. And this is going to hold this in place. Because, does anyone remember how many hours she has to leave this on? 5 to 6 hours. So you're probably going to sleep with this on tonight. Right? Okay, so we're not going to wrap over her fingers because I want her to be able to move her fingers. Is that snug enough? Okay. Again, remember, we don't want to cut off her circulation. So you always just want to ask the person, is it too tight? Or is it comfortable? But it needs to be snug enough that it stays. Thank you, Ivan. Well, you know, so this is a treatment. This is really a 5-day treatment. So Lorraine, you may see some reduction in pain after the first set of hours, but really you should make this mixture again daily and apply it daily. That's when you'll see the most benefit. And of course, we are not the healer, but God is the healer, and so we just pray that God will heal you. Thank you. Okay, did you guys have your greens bisque? Yeah, good soup, right? Okay, so at this point, we'd like to invite Dr. David to come and share the rest of his presentation with us, and whatever more time he may have. And I just want to encourage you to try this natural remedy and others that you may learn by coming to our classes, because there is a lot that we can do to alleviate pain.
All righty.
She has a question. She has a question there.
Someone had a question? Sure. So our regular cooking class, resuming again next month in February, is the second Sunday of every month. And it's at a church called Crossroads, and the address is 410 West 45th Street, and it's between 9th and 10th Avenue. The class is between 10 and 12, and we encourage you to go onto Facebook and like our Facebook page. If there were ever a change due to snow or any inclement weather, that announcement would be on our Facebook page.
We're also on Instagram as well, Heidi's Health Kitchen. H-E-I.
It's right on the banner.
Oh. H-E-I-D-I-S.
Then the word health, then the word kitchen.
All righty. And I want y'all to really go to the website or keep in contact, because let me ask a question. How many people are suffering or know someone suffering from diabetes? Okay, the reason I want you to contact the site, because I'm going to start a program for diabetes there at that class. So please, it won't cost you a cent. It will cost you your train ride, your car fare, whatever it might be. You contact them and they'll contact me. Okay, you want a number for them? You want to give them a number?
Sure, our office number is area code 631-663-3128. You can also email us, Heidi's Health Kitchen @gmail.com, and the phone number is 631-663-3128. We also have a table outside in the entrance area. We have business cards there, and you can feel free to contact us.
So if you didn't hear it, stop at the table on the way out. Now, I want you all to, like I said, because I'm going to start a program there for diabetes. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing but your time. And you could pay for my time if you're inclined, but no, it'll cost you nothing. Just show up. Second Sunday every month. When is it? Where is it? That's what it sounds like. 410 West 45th Street. Closer to 9th than it is to 10th. Okay? I want to look at some of this stuff here. Free radicals. Who's ever heard of that before? You want to know about that? Or you heard about it? Okay, free radicals. Anyone knows what a free radical is? It's a negative electron. Very good. It's a negative electron. It's an electron that breaks loose from its friend. That's what it is. Usually what happens with a molecule, it's usually surrounded by pairs of electrons, and they travel together all around it like that. That's what happens. You come for a second. You can see she's going to be my electron. And I want you to see this. I need another volunteer. You want to come and be a volunteer for us? Yes, that's what that means. Huh? I have one, I need two. There goes two. And I want to show you what really happens in the system. I need a single electron. Okay, you can come on that side. Now watch what happens. I'll be the molecule. Or actually, you could be the molecule. And you two are electrons. Now, actually, we need a little space. Come over on this side a little bit. Now, don't knock over the TV set, because if you break it, you own it. You bought it. Now, the molecule, we're talking about free radicals. What usually happens, the electrons go together as pairs, so you have to get really close to her. Oh, yeah. And then now you have to go around the molecule. Together. Got to get real close. Pretend you don't know her. Close. Go around. What happens, you will get a free radical who will come and snatch her away and leave him by himself. What that does, someone else, he sees he's by himself, and he will go and he will grab another one. And it sets up a domino. Thank you very much. Now, let me tell you why that domino is important. Because when that chain reaction happens is when you get premature graying. Is when your skin begins to age quickly. Wrinkles, yeah. Aging, oxidation. All because one electron needed a partner. Leads to cancer. It begins this domino effect down the road. How do you stop it? Do you want to stop it? Yeah. Now, let's go back to our banana. Remember that banana that we had that turned brown? What happens if before you took the phone call, you took a lemon and squeezed it on the banana? It would what?
It'll stay. Stay.
Did you hear her? What happens to it? It stops oxidation. It stays. It stays. It stops that process from carrying on in the system. Now, you can't go around squeezing juices inside your body now, can you? In a sense, you can. What kind of foods do you need to eat? Alkaline? Who? Live foods. What makes it live? Enzymes. I knew you guys knew it. Antioxidants. You eat that and it stops that chain reaction from happening in your system. You find that in live foods, as someone said. You see, it makes sense. Sometimes you just don't put it together. So we want to stop this process from happening, so we go and eat live foods. And it stops that chain reaction. Now, I want to look at this. I'm looking at the menu just like you guys. You had white onions, celery, potatoes, peas, green, yellow. Did they cook anything? Or did they just blend it? It was just the potatoes. Pretty much everything else was alive. The soup was cooked. They added the stuff. Yes, they blended it and then they added it to it. You see, the less you cook the food, the more alive it is. Did you get that? But I want to give a note, very important. Now, if you're currently suffering from cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, you might not want to eat raw. Hit the brakes. Might not want to do that because your liver is usually weak and you need a strong liver to break down raw food. So if you're ailing, you might want to cook your food really slowly. It will release your vitamins into the juice or release them themselves, make it softer for you so that you could absorb them. But if you're healthy, lightly cook your food. Make sense? Anyone here sick? My mother used to be sick and tired. She was never just sick. She was always sick and tired. You know, I guess that goes together because sometimes that's what happens to me. I get sick and tired. Now, I discovered that's really a disease. That's really something that happens. Because when you get sick, your body is tired. It becomes weak. So you don't want to get weak. So what can I do to stop getting weak and stop getting sick? Live foods. And who? Coconut. Coconut. I wanted to go to something else on this menu here. They had onions. I'm covering what's really on this list. Onions. Do you know onions are powerful? You know, garlics are powerful. If you put onion and garlic together, you have a powerhouse. But anyone has low blood pressure, don't do onion and garlic together. It will drop your pressure and you'll get lightheaded. Oh, yes. Now, if you have high blood pressure, you can do it. It will bring it down. Okay? But if you have low blood pressure, don't do it. I want to make sure I cover my bases. I don't want you taking it and going outside and, ooh, you know, that happens. My wife has low blood pressure, so she can't do that. I wake up and my pressure's like up there. It's like I don't know, I was born that way. I don't know, I keep going. So onion is powerful. It's also good if you have infections. You ever heard of that before? Onion and garlic. Colds. Asthma. Bronchitis. Flu season comes. I want to give you some stuff you can do. You've heard this. Put onions underneath your socks. Don't do that. Your feet will stink. It will not come out, so don't do that. It will absorb in your skin and come out your mouth, so don't do that. But what you can do is slice the onion and put it at the side of your bed. That's it. At the side of your bed. It will absorb all the impurities right into the onion. When you go home, you can do that test for yourself. Or you could put it in your refrigerator and check it a few days and it becomes black. Yes. So you put the onion at the side of your bed and it absorbs the impurities and all the germs out of the air. It'll help to keep you well. Question there. Which do you prefer? You like red? Why? Tastes good? So use the white ones for you. If you like the, no, it doesn't matter. Use the ones you don't like. Because if you use the ones you like, then you can't eat them. So use the ones you don't like, put them at the side of the bed, and have them absorb. Okay, how do you prepare onion and garlic to lower your blood pressure? You take your onion, one small, your nice blender, drop it in. Take 2 little, is that sprigs they call them? Great, have cooks. Take 2 cloves and drop them in. Take what's the larger teaspoon called? A larger teaspoon is a teaspoon. You take a tablespoon of water, put it in the blender, blend it, pour it into a jar, and that's it. Do it again. You don't want to drink the whole thing. Take a spoon. Take a spoon and take it. And then stay away from people for a little bit. Or if you could put parsley with it to help with the smell, and that will do wonders for you. How often do you take it? As fast as you can tolerate. Let me say this. I got one important thing. Do not take it on an empty stomach. The garlic is strong. It will give you an ulcer. It will burn your stomach. It's very active. So eat a little something and then take it. You could do it. It depends. If you have the onset of a cold, I would take it every hour. Yeah. That's what I would do. It will just knock it out for about 2 days. It'll be gone. Now, I shouldn't say this, but it will reduce your blood pressure. That's what I can say. Certain things I can't say by law. It will reduce your blood pressure. So this is the thing about it. It doesn't have a side effect except for bad breath. So take some parsley with it, and it will reduce your pressure. If you have high blood pressure issues, have your high blood pressure monitor, take your pressure, see how it goes. But if you have high blood pressure, you need to figure out what's causing it. Now let me talk a little bit about that, because we'll discuss that more when we begin the diabetes program. If you have high blood pressure, I had some slides I wish I had, so I'm going to do some illustrations here. This is cool. Can you see me? Through the hole. Can you see that? Can you see through it? Now, over time, if you're eating a lot of fat products, meats, you begin to put little deposits in this tube until when you look through, you can't see. Now, when I was young, I grew up on 174th Street in the Bronx. Yeah, boogie down. Yeah. And we used to have fun. We used to get these little cans, scratch them on the floor until the back end fell off and the front. Oh, yes, and put them on the Johnny pump. That's right. And then you turn the water on, you put it on the pump, and if you wanted to go farther, you would close off more of the can, and it will shoot further. You remember those days, right? Oh, yes, indeedy. So the more you closed it off, the more you build up pressure, and it shot further away. When you block up the arteries, the pressure builds up the same inside of you. Same way. And we call it high blood pressure. Hypertension. That's what happens. It's the food you're eating. Now, if you want to reduce that, eat your onions and eat your garlic. It will dissolve the plaque. You see? So if you have high blood pressure, it's usually because over the duration of your life, you have been building a plaque on the side of your arteries. I want to share one last thing about potatoes, because it's 10 to 8. A few years ago, I woke up and I had double vision. Yeah, it was like, I couldn't really see. I never had that before. And then as I noticed, the day went by, my eye began to swell. Yeah. And then my wife freaked out, go see a doctor. Because they said, a man who uses himself for a doctor has a fool for a doctor. So I went to see a doctor. And he grabbed my eye, he squeezed my eye got bigger. And then he said to me, we're going to have surgery. Your tear ducts were blocked, and we're going to have to take out the tear ducts, and then you're going to have to use artificial tears for the rest of your life. Now, I didn't like that, because I don't like putting things in my eye. So I said, wait a minute, I'm a naturopath. I'll be a fool for myself. So I took a potato. A potato, what did I take? A potato. A rubber band, what did I take? And a spoon that could fit over my eye. So if I I had a potato, a spoon, and a rubber band. It sounds crazy. You know that? You know that one? You got a spoon? Yes, you got a spoon. So what I did, I sliced the potato. Then I took the spoon that was as big as my eye and scooped out the potato. Then I took that sliced potato that was scooped out and I put it on my eye. And I used the rubber band to keep it on my eye while I went to sleep. A rubber band. I did that for 2 days. And then my double vision went away. The swelling went down. And then I got a side effect. I discovered I saw better with my right eye now than I did with my left eye. So I had to get my prescription changed. Let food be your medicine. Yeah. Be it with the garlic and the onion, be it with the potato, be it with the live foods, the grains or the grains. Let food be your medicine. Junk in, junk out. We all want to live better.
Rachel.
Okay, so let's give a round of applause. The Heidi's Health Kitchen crew came out and volunteered to do this workshop. We did not, we do not have the funds to be paying for something like this, and they did it out of their own hearts, out of their own generosity. So let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Rachel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is our second healthy cooking workshop. So as you may have noticed, there are a few kinks that we are still sorting out. And so we thank you for your patience while we sort out the programming. And we hope to bring this to the community more throughout the year, throughout 2019. So if you have interest in either volunteering or even just feedback, we have sheets that are at the welcome table for feedback, and we would appreciate that. We also know that Heidi's Health Kitchen also has some feedback sheets that are being passed around.
Survey sheets, yeah.
So with that, we will have about a 10-minute Q&A. Then as folks are dismissed, we've got a few more cups of the Bisque, which, wow, amazing. Who else loved the Bisque? Whew, so good. So we also have some tablers out in the rotunda who are here to offer their services, some registered dietitians, nutritionists, et cetera. So really take advantage of those folks coming out as well, and be sure to stop by their tables. With that, I'll hand it over to a Q&A.
Thank you. So one more announcement from Heidi's Health Kitchen is we actually organized a plant-based summit last year in August. And it was a huge success. In fact, the borough president was a keynote speaker at the plant-based summit last year in August. And we will be organizing the same event again this year in June. It's on June 23rd. And if you're interested in more information for the Plant-Based Summit 2019, please do check our website for the information and registration information as well.
The tickets for that are still at the early bird price of $54.99 per person. And so, again, we will be providing health lectures. We will have plant-based vendors there. And the event is catered by Heidi's Health Kitchen, so you'll get fed also.
Yeah, and
so we encourage you to register before the tickets go up in price.
And the registration fee that includes the food that will be provided there.
So I have the microphone over here. I'm going to be circulating around to folks. So if you just raise your hand, I will come to you with the microphone.
Yes, David. How do you raise your good cholesterol, your HDL, with food?
With food? That's a very good question. Just eat food with HDL. Basically, what you want to do, here goes where the onions become very interesting and the garlic. You get the cholesterol naturally. Your body will produce it. The problem that you have, you usually take in too much bad cholesterol. So the key or the answer really is to reduce the bad cholesterol that you take in and let the body produce the cholesterol that it needs.
Do you know it's the best way to reduce the bad cholesterol? Stop putting it in your mouth.
Yeah. That's it. Don't eat it.
Doctor says from your gene, you say, how can you stop that?
Your gene, you ever heard that? Your genes. I'm this way because of my genes. My mother died at 54. I'm not dead yet. Your genes are very important. I suggest everyone go to their family reunion because you want to know the malady that your family suffers from. But they only pay about 15%. Your genes load the gun. Your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So if you live like your parents, you will die like your parents. But if you don't live like your parents, you won't die like your parents. So you need to know what the malady is that your family suffers from and then take the right precautions.
We've got a question over here.
Hi. How can you reduce inflammation caused by untreated asthma that has reduced lung capacity by 50% in the airwaves?
Again, onions.
Yeah.
Onions cut down and break up the mucus. They're excellent for those who suffer from asthma. If you have the asthma, what you might want to do, keep onions tight in a bag, closed, and whenever you feel it, breathe it. The smell alone, the oil alone that you ingest will start to break down the mucus that is being formed. So you want to take a lot of raw onions to break down the mucus that your body is creating.
You know, just before New Year's Eve, I came down with this horrible cold. I was sneezing like crazy, and then I became all congested. And the first thing I did was exactly what David said. I got a bunch of onions, and I cut them, and I cut them in half, and I put them all around my pillow. And then I cut an onion, and I put it in half, and I put them just right inside my pajamas, and I slept with the onions on my chest, and I had no congestion when I woke up in the morning.
We have our last question of the night, but these folks are here to stick around if you want to approach them after. But here's our last question.
You mentioned a healthy peanut butter. Do you have a name brand?
No, go to GNC and have them grind it for you.
I will say Trader Joe's has one that is just ground peanuts.
Yeah, anything that's
ground
raw.
peanuts.
Cheap.
And Whole Foods has the machines. You put the nuts
Yeah.
in and you grind your own.
You grind your own.
No added oils, no added sugar or salt.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Please help yourselves.
Oh. Oh, they have containers there. They have quart containers. Yeah. So if you guys have completed the survey, you can leave that with us as well. And if you have additional questions, we can contact you from the survey. Nice to meet you. Oh, thank you. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, the cooking demo there? Okay, sounds good. We will. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Sure. This is a Vitamix.
Okay, so this is comfrey leaf.